Hey everybody, it's Cyborg. I'm joined by Temp. As always, we are covering the entire Injustice series. This time we are covering Injustice Year 3, issue number 10, so check out the previous videos so that way you don't get spoiled. When you've done that, definitely come check out this video and continue going along with this journey with us. So with that said, let's jump right into the discussion here. I'm going to pull up the comic so that way I can remember everything that happened, and we'll kind of step by step go back through this. Alright, so right off the bat, we are in the thick of the action. There is no break from the previous one. Last we left off, they were in the House of Mystery, and here we are, I guess, addressing Swamp Thing? I don't know, this kind of confused me a bit, the way this was structured. We see Mr. Mixios Pitlick still fighting Trigon, and Batman's team, I guess, is being held by vines by Swamp Thing, and they are all kind of panicking and freaking out. They're all breaking off in their own little fighting groups. Batman's fighting Superman. Swamp Thing and Constantine are having a fun chat back and forth about how, neither of them want to hurt each other. And even Constantine does some good monologuing here about how, nobody fights thinking that they're wrong. Everyone fights thinking that they're in the right. And otherwise, they wouldn't be fighting. So yeah, so that's some interesting dialogue there, back and forth between him and Swamp Thing. Constantine actually realizes that he's in over his head, and he just outright says, how about you let me leave, I'll leave you alone, and we'll pretend this never happened. Swamp Thing does not agree to this because he doesn't trust Constantine, so something has to be done. Constantine ends up using some sort of magic to escape, it looks like. At least that's where we're left off there. And he goes back to the House of Mystery. He's talking with Dr. Fate and Deadwing. And they're having a conversation about just what to do next. What's their game plan, or if there even is anything that can be done. Then we have Catwoman and Wonder Woman fighting. Catwoman explains that she never was really that impressed by, Superman and Wonder Woman because of just how much power that they have. It doesn't take a whole lot for them to succeed in things because of just their raw power, endurance, and strength, etc. Whereas someone like Batman and Ollie, they need to obviously work for what they're doing, so they got to put a little bit more effort into it. And we see Harley fighting Shazam, except for she doesn't think they're fighting. Shazam, though, isn't having any of it, and he knocks her back, and she's just joking in typical Harley fashion, saying that you're a good hugger. So yeah, she's just kind of not wanting to fight him. She's still in full-on crush mode, just trying to be all cutesy with him. Batwoman and Sinestro go back and forth. It's very cliche when this happens, but Sinestro's like, oh, you think that Bataring's gonna even hurt me, especially with your pathetic aim? And it's the old, she wasn't actually aiming for him, she was aiming for the thing behind him to knock him out, so she makes a tree fall over on top of him. That's happened.
Especially interesting. Well, go on, yes.
Well, I'm just saying that's happened so many times in things. Yeah.
Well, what makes it extra peculiar is that Swamp Thing is there. So why are trees accidentally falling on Sinestro, a supposed ally of Swamp Thing? He controls every tree, and this is a tree that's like 10 feet away from it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Also, it's kind of unclear what Swamp Thing is doing. We don't really see him again after they get away from the vines, and
yeah,
this issue's a little messy. It's in we'll get to the big question on my mind in a second here, but
yeah, no, I'm in complete agreement with you here. And we see Montoya fighting with Hal. She's getting the best of him at first, but then Hal fires back with a jet engine and messes her up. Huntress looks to be fighting Ares, and once again Ares gets his ass handed to him by Batwoman. So granted, it was an unfair fight, it was a sucker punch, but he still once again gets jobbed out. And Batman and Superman go back and forth, and yeah, Shazam jumps in and knocks out Batman, or knocks him down. So we leave off the first chapter right there, and let's go right into the second chapter here. Once again, Deadwing, Batman, and Constantine, as well as Dr. Fate, now they're talking in the House of Mystery, so I'm a little bit confused at the order of all this is supposed to be happening.
Yeah, well, That's interesting because that's how the issue started with me. Because it sounds like your issue 2 is my issue 1
Or chapter, you mean?
chapter. Yeah.
Did I go backwards? I might have done that accidentally.
Well, I mean, it doesn't really. I mean, honestly, based on the information in the story, it doesn't really make a difference. Like, it still doesn't quite make sense either way, no matter which way you order it.
I'm going back. I'm making sure that I didn't just... Huh. Continue. Yeah, I think I just recapped it wrong. That my issue obviously was in the same order yours is. I just recapped it wrong. Either way, we'll continue on as normal just so I don't have to repeat all that. But so yeah, sorry that I'm getting this mixed up, folks. But yeah, so I read the second chapter of this issue first before I read the first one. But you're right; they do start off in the House of Mystery. They're talking about what they can do, and we see Mixia's Pitlick and Trigon going back and forth. Mixia's Pitlick is fighting back and forth with Trigon further and further. They get the best of each other over several exchanges. Superman, Hal, and Wonder Woman are kind of just watching all of this play out. Hal is of the question, why is Mr. Mixia's Pitlick even helping Superman? And Superman essentially explains for him, Superman's mine. He's never met anyone else like Superman. One person whose forthright disposition makes him the perfect choice for fun. Superman. So basically he just wants to keep Superman around so he can continually to play his tricks and torment him the way he enjoys, much like Joker always wants to keep Batman around, even though he's trying to kill him all the time, but he secretly wants him around because without Batman, it's just not fun. So it's a similar relationship here with Mix's Pitlick and Superman, and they're all fighting back and forth. Then it's back at the House of Mystery, and it's basically said by... Is that Batman? Or not Batman, but who's saying that? Batwoman? Yeah, it's Batwoman that's basically stating that they should probably they can't have Cyborg, Robin, the Flash, and Raven all, tied up there and held captive, because as long as they do, Superman's going to be hunting them, and they're always on their back foot, and they need to be on the offensive. So they're, trying to contemplate what else they could do with him. Harley suggests to kill him. She's only half joking, of course.
Which is a fun another moment. Hint that Harley's kind of going down a bad road. So yeah, that's the vibe I get, at least.
So yeah, she's just kind of half joking saying it, but she also is partly serious, of course. So that idea is thrown out there. Then we go back to the Trigon Mixia's Pitlick fight, as well as with Superman, Wonder Woman, and Hal. And they're going back and forth. It looks like Mixia's Pitlick finally gets the best of Trigon, but then he teleports all of them out towards where the others were fighting with Swamp Thing and the rest. So that is what sets it up. So basically I'm Tarantinoing this because we started with the back end and now we're going back to the front end to lead up to how we got there. But so you don't really lose anything by doing it. This is one of those issues that could be read, like you said, either way. It's not really pertinent on... There's no big reveal here where something gets spoiled if you read it wrongly.
Well, I kept going back anyway, because I'm still confused. So, Mixia Plickett was the Spectre? Am I understanding that?
Yeah, at one point that gets mentioned that he took the form... Or Batman... I think Batman's the one that says that, yeah, he's the one that was taking the form of... Or at least implies it or insinuates that, but we never get a concrete answer, and Mixia's Pitlick never says anything stating that he's the Spectre. So... It's just somebody else says that he was the Spectre, and that's all we have there. So I hope that is obviously discussed further, and there's more to it than just a passing comment that, oh, he was the whole time, and now he's in his normal form. That would be pretty poor if they don't follow up on that.
Let's assume they don't. I feel like they have to. Let's assume they don't. That means Mixie Plickett killed the Phantom Stranger. It means that he took down Deadman, and it means that he basically wrecked half of Constantine's crew.
Yeah.
I'm not criticizing. It's just a really strange writing move.
Sure.
And I don't understand. I still am not clear how someone could just pose as the Spectre. I feel like it would be harder than that. And also, then if that's the case, then Xanadu's prediction of the Joker coming back, I don't know what that means anymore. So I'm just super confused.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where we could probably speculate on what's all going on and what that means, but honestly, it's really not worth it because they've discussed. I mean, they've saved themselves in the past by explaining things.
Yeah,
So I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt at least one more issue before we kind of drive that into the ground. Because I'm with you. I think if they don't explain that, that would really kind of suck, and also doesn't really make sense why they would just be like, oh, he was the Spectre, now he's not the Spectre, and why was he the Spectre other than to protect Superman to keep him around? We know that much. We know why he would have taken the role of the Spectre, but why couldn't he have just done that by himself? Like, why? I guess maybe because Superman might have a not accept that at first. I don't know. That's my best guess. Is that maybe if Mixius Pitlick tries to help Superman, Superman would just obviously try and destroy him or something. But if he takes the form of the Spectre to try and help Superman, it's kind of less threatening, so to speak. I don't know, but yeah, that didn't really get explained, and just overall, I just thought, I don't know, to me there wasn't a whole lot of substance here. This was just fighting for fighting. It just felt like, can action be, it just felt like filler action, which isn't always a horrible thing, but in this case it's like I'm looking for more story development, and all we really got was just a bunch of people fighting this issue with exchanging dialogue as they went. Some of it interesting, some of it just kind of meh. But this time it was just people beating each other up, and to no real conclusion other than Batman gets knocked down, and that's where we're left out, or that's where we're left off.
yeah. It also it's just there's no real transitions. It's when they go from the House of Mystery to meet up with all the regime members
Yeah,
out in Swamp Thing's area. No transition. No, hey Batman, let's check on Swamp Thing again and see what the status is on that dude. No, they're just there.
yeah,
And they go from the vines with Swamp Thing, and it shows them breaking out, and then we don't really see Swamp Thing again after Constantine teleports out. So after that, it's just I don't know, man. Like, it's a mess. It's kind of messy. I We'll see. It's interesting. I feel like the last few issues they feel a little bit rushed. We'll see what happens though. There's not much left of year 3 to go. We're almost done.
no, yeah, we have 2 more issues to go, not counting the annual, which is its own side story. So
Yeah.
yeah, this is supposed to be the big leading up to the climax, and I feel like we're ramping down. Like
Yeah.
I was gonna actually make that comparison when I was reading this. This is exactly what I was thinking. Is year 2, I thought, really ramped up and ended on a, it peaked at the end. Like, it was really, really good, and it really hit that climax hard. Whereas this, I felt like so far, it started off really well. The first, like, 4, 5, 6 issues started off really well and did really good. It was solid for 6 issues straight, but then I feel like after those 6 issues, now we're starting to go downward in terms of how exciting it is, how interesting it is, how well it's done. I feel like we're trending downward, which is bad leading to the finale of the year. So I'm really hoping the next issue pulls this back around, because this fighting sequence, it was a full issue of just fighting, didn't really do it for me, is basically my overall thoughts on this issue. It wasn't a bad issue. It's just I'm looking for more story development and character development, and this was just punchy, kicky exchange one-liners and jabs at each other. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it was kind of like animal crackers. It's not bad, but
Sure, it's just not what I was looking for right now. Yeah, so I'm hoping they bring me back, because I was on the edge of my seat going into each issue, being like, what happens next? What happens next? What happens next? And now I think after the last couple of issues, they just kind of rush things so much. And now with this, where it's just like, okay, this happens. Wait, what? No, oh, this happens. Oh, huh? This happens. Hold on a second. This happens. Like, that's
yeah.
basically every reaction that's going on right now. It's just me trying to keep up with, like, what's happening and why is this all going so fast? What is this leading to? Unless they really pay it off, I don't know how to feel right now. So I'm hoping the next 2 issues really bring it back. So, yeah, I think we're both on the same track there.
Okay, well, other than that, that's all I mean, there's just isn't much more to say. I have a lot of questions. That's really all I have to say.
Yeah, so I guess we'll find out. But for that, on that note, guys, sorry for getting that a little confusing in the beginning part. I was just a little confused when because I had the two chapters pulled up separately, so I recapped obviously the first one or the last chapter first before the other one, so it made it even more confusing. But hopefully you can get that all straightened out and lined up correctly. But yeah, you guys take care. We'll see you at the next one and make it less confusing. And hopefully we'll get things will start taking a turn and start picking back up because it's not bad, but we've seen higher highs in this season or in this year, so I'm hoping that we bring it back up. Because you want to finish on a high note. So, anyways, take care, guys.
Later.